So here we have it. We're in game in our first round between Out of Range and KB, and we can instantly see KB moving down the one line with 4 tanks already, only Tarantula going up.
This is a really, really aggressive approach in attack from the south. They're actually expecting to catch a tank or two down alone, and it seems like they will actually succeed because all of their attack is focused exactly on that, on catching anyone down. Decha is already falling back to his guys, so Kent is pretty much alone there. New multi, trying to flank and succeed in that. Tarantula is pretty much safe and countering him there.
Yeah, new multi already pushing up, and it seems like the rest of Out of Range is already following as they see the overmatch. 3 tanks being in the 1-2 line, only Tarantula here to stop them, and it looks like they're going in for the push. Multi seems to be the first target for KB, but they have the massive overmatch here as Filware is the next one to take a lot of damage, and now KB is starting to come back. They're on the lower side, or this is not a good engagement to take for them as Desha does take down Leechbear, but Santi drops low as well and goes down to Hellfish.
This is a classic mistake the team do, like when they push too hard on 1-2 line, if they get caught from the tanks from the upward position, they die in seconds, and this is exactly what you can see here. They're melting by seconds, and there is absolutely nothing they can do about it.
Yeah, even Desek with that Gorilla managing to land some shells in the back. Espada takes a massive shell from that Gorilla. KB pushing too many tanks down the 1-2 line and getting caught out for it. Out of range, that aggression coming in, realizing there's 3 tanks not in the fight, pushing down, surrounding KB, and getting them on that downside, which is not really advantageous for their Batchats, as Out of Range Batchat can just peek up, and it's just Hellfish and Pare on really low HP, and Out of Range has the full surround, and Vale comes in for the kill on Pare.
We've been mentioning how Out of Range boosted their lineup, and this is exactly the example of that, because you saw the point-on reaction. They actually didn't lose a single tank. Full push by Knäckebröd, didn't catch anyone.
Yeah, it's just Hellfish left here as Raging Potato comes in to close around us. Our first round of the season almost done, and it goes in favor of Out of Range, 1-0 up against KB in an intense match. Mojo, what do we make from that 1-2 line push? Because Out of Range saw those 3 tanks, went for it, and coming back KB from the 1-2 line, that Grill had an easy day shooting them.
The moment they didn't catch anyone right there on the corner, I think they should have just ran away, gathered up all the tanks and pushed up against the remaining tanks of... I really don't understand why did they keep on staying down, because from the last, not 1 season or 2 seasons played by tier 10 tanks, even in tier 8, whoever was left down always lost a match, always. It's not a single example that goes different, because you are always in worse position. You have to watch up to the tanks that are shooting you from a higher altitude, even in real life, when you are fighting with real tanks. It is the classic example.
Yeah, Out of Range instantly realizing that they have an overmatch there. Very well played by them. Desha running away, and that Gorilla in a good position to cover them on that A5 position. Those 3 tanks from KB. If they would have been in the fight, it would have been a big difference, but a little bit of an overcommitment onto Aru and Desha.
We can say really that Out of Range responded perfectly. Ru ran away, spotting for Grill. Batchat ran away towards his mediums, other mediums flanked immediately. Like they acted like they have satellite vision, literally.
Yeah, you could see Out of Range instantly taking those key positions. Those Batchats from the top part having a lot easier job to shoot down the Batchats on the lower side from KB, as they can just peek over and land those shells, and we could see the HP just melt away from KB, and Out of Range very convincingly taking that first round.
Yes, I hope in some of the further rounds we will have a chance to see how did Grill actually climb to position where he was shooting from. It's a very interesting one. I think you even recorded demos. That will show people one of those positions. Guys, in this season, physics is influencing playstyle significantly. Personal skill of players will come now to effect more than any time before, because now it's not just enough to drive a tank well in a group, to shoot well, to plan tactics. No, you must have the finger skills, so you can actually climb those positions without failing, without destroying the position for your own team. And it starts to remind a bit like in old times when it was like Quake and stuff.
There's 3 things to this boosting that people have to... It takes a lot of time for players to train this, but also you need players that are able to do this in a real match as well, because it is okay if you can do a boost, for example, on mines in a training room, but on these live matches, when it's about winning and points towards the offline finals, every single second counts, and if they miss a boost, it could be vital for tactics. We saw that at the grand finals as well. 1 failed boost pretty much cost Wombats the match.
Not only them, what about Apple Wow when he got stuck? Let's not even go there.
Let's not go there.
But I can only say I'm quite happy that I'm commenting and not having to play, because it would take me hours to take a single one of them.
Well, I remember when I was still playing, There's two trainings now. You do team training, and then you also go to individual training to practice those boosts. So there's a lot of time put into those.
Yeah, Ducky was actually showing me a lot of those, and some of the new ones, guys, that you will see during this season that are quite hidden one, and hush hush. So we cannot show them yet. But I'm expecting great things from the teams, and anyone who is even a casual viewer can learn a lot by watching these matches. It's usable in randoms, in clan wars, wherever you want.
Yeah, just stay tuned. We have some hidden surprises waiting for you guys. But we should take a look at the stats and see that Grilla. I wonder how much he managed to do because we weren't really watching him. So be interesting to see how much Dezek did. But we see Hellfish here actually leading the pack, and then Vala is second. So damage, pretty much we can see it in favor of out of range here.
There is nothing standing out here. It's pretty average damage by all the out of range members. They were all playing together. Grill did as much as I expected. Like I think he connected more than 2, maybe 3 shots with someone on lower damage, but that's about that. Hellfish really coming back to the team standing out, but that's not enough because most of his team was actually not in position to respond to the enemy.
Yeah, Hellfish, a lot of that damage, you have to look at the damage, and a lot of that damage was done in the end of the round when there wasn't really much to do anymore except for doing a few more shots of damage. Do have to note out, there's been a slight mistake. Tarantula is obviously not in out of range. That was an out of range player. I think it was Dezek.
I would say it was Dezek, definitely.
So Dezek in that grill doing an okay amount of damage for a Grilla player, but it was okay. But Xana Leon, I cursed him coming in here saying that he was going to do well, actually doing
Sana Leon
0
and
damage.
Pade totally cursed, doing nothing, getting caught off while they're trying to chase people around. Not a well place to be it, and honestly, well-deserved victory for out of range.
Yeah, that Polish superstar team showing what they're made of. Quick reactions, very good reactions. But now KB is going to be on the defensive side. What do they need to do to be able to surprise a team like Out of Range, which said that they can go ultra aggressive, but also can play the defensive style?
Cliff is a really skill-based map, so that's the only way you can win it actually, unless some team does something suicidal. And I would say this Knäckebröd tactics was actually exactly that. It was a blind push. So unless the team does something like that, you actually have to overwhelm enemy in one-on-one action.
Yeah, it's been fun to see how the Cliff meta has evolved since the Grand Finals. The Grand Finals, we had a lot of very quick games, a lot of pushes coming out, but with the Gorilla, it's been more of teams are trying now to find a more defensive stance to Cliff, and there's a few boosts that some people haven't seen yet that might come out here on the defensive side as well.
Yes, I'm hoping actually we will see something now in the mid area of the Cliff, but let's not talk about that. I expect again a really fast lineup. There is no much use for heavies here because if someone pushes, they're actually out of the battle before the time comes to shoot.
Let's take a look at the lineups and see exactly what both of the teams have in store for us. As I'm expecting very batchet heavy, Mojo. And as we can see, I am right. What a surprise. Batch had some Cliff. 6 for KB, 5 for out of range with 1 TVP. And the T49, why do you feel they use this T49 in this matchup?
T49 is totally okay because they expect soft tanks. Also, you can put him down to spot and shoot someone in his rear while he's climbing for 1k like on mines. It's really ultra heavy damage for a Batchat to take on a start. Also later in these games when Batchat start falling on HP, T49 can actually be a nightmare.
Do we think that KB can take the brawl head to head with out of range quickly?
Oof, with this TVP, they can do whatever they want, but I don't think Knäckebröd will just suicide now. They really have to focus up, not losing in single map 2-0 because that's a really big difference then.
We've seen teams come back from 2-0 though, but it's always a disadvantage going down already, especially what goes through their head, do you think, being 1-0 down already on the first round?
The problem is when you lose one map 2-0, other team doesn't have to be that offensive anymore. They can just play 1-1 till the end, every map, and they won. This is exactly how actually they lost to out of range in the previous season.
But here we go, second round onto Cliff. Out of range currently 1-0 up against KB, and we can see out of range actually sending everybody up, and only Kerolf in that one line to spot anything, and a more defensive stance coming in from KB. Xana Leon in that TVP and the roost spotting, and it does look like KB is choosing the more defensive option to begin with.
Yeah, this is really standard, and I would not say even a single tank is really on some surprising position. I really like there is a rotation from out of range coming. They're taking the lower part, so they secure the middle in a group, so they're not surprised by any rush, and then they are taking care of the lower part. Now we will see an effect. What are the smaller parts of the plans of Knäckebröd, because they're pushing down already with several tanks.
Yeah, Xanaleon and Tarantula taking that 1-2 line position. Do get spotted by Karol, but Raging Potato taking a little bit of damage. Desek here as well. Tarantula gets one shell in return from Vala in that bat chat, and Karol trying to poke from behind, doing some damage as well, but Bratti has to be careful that it does look like out of range is moving making a move on him. Tracks Santi, he takes a lot of damage, and Bratti takes him down actually. But Desha and Multi-Show coming in here, and Bratti won't be able to survive. But Multi taking a lot of damage in return as well. Not looking like this push has been worth it for out of range at this point.
This was a really, really risky push by them. They thought they will catch them off guard because that one tank was secluded from the others. He was alone. But Knäckebröd actually, when they realized they cannot push anyone on the other side, already pre-aimed. And the moment they actually pushed, they were shot. The very same second. The coverage was really great.
Yeah, Failware's gun here getting damaged, so pretty unlucky there as he failed to get up, but he's in one of those new boost position. It provides a lot of cover as you see the bushes in front of him. Once he goes despotted, he can actually go in those and spot, but the HP in favor here of out of range as they lost Santi and Karol for that push, and Desha and Multi-Show taking a lot of damage as well.
He also has a dead commander, but it's really strange to see tanks, but just like spiders there on the rocks hanging on.
Yeah, Multi-Show gets struck here by Leech Bear and doesn't look like he has a repair kit, so Leech Bear could take Multi-Show down here as his bear distracted. Oof, a close miss here from Leech Bear. So Multi-Show now on a one-shot as well. As Leech Bear tries to kill him, but it does look like Hellfish is coming in for the kill here. Just wondering how much... Oh, as Leech Bear actually takes him down. So Hellfish just taking a little bit of damage in return, but another good objective taken for Knäckebröd as they take down the Multi-Show. But Hellfish getting blown up in return from Desek. That push not working out for him.
Well, honestly, this should be just a kind of a mop-up operation for Knäckebröd. They can take their sweet time and choose how to shoot them off because they have every possible advantage in number of guns, in HP, even in positions.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time for KB, but they could also choose to just defend the match out as they are on the defensive side. They do not need to make the push if they don't want to. So now it's going to be on Raging Potato and Valet to make all the plays as Desha, without a commander, can't really do anything. As Leech Bear is moving in for the kill, gets set on fire, but does close down the kill on Desha.
This is really strange. Deha actually didn't revive his commander until now. He had a medkit. We just saw that his commander was repaired. So all is on Raging and Vale. Fortunately for them, they are around the middle area, but Tarantula is from one angle and the remaining tanks are from another. They're pretty much cut off here, and I don't think they can get out of this alive.
Yeah, Raging and Vale, the boys from Penta, the ex-boys from Penta, in a pretty predicament here. There's not much they can do as the boys from KB are closing as they want to take this victory. It's only Raging Potato left here. There's nowhere he can run, there's nowhere he can hide, and KB was actually going to be able to bring the score all even to 1-1. Did not expect them to be such a convincing win on their defensive side on Cliff. They played that really well. Out of range going... We were complimenting their good aggression in last round. This round, it feels like the decision they took costed them too much, as we could see Kanti getting tracked on that ramp and getting shut down, and then Desha new Multi-Show coming in, taking a lot of damage as well.
I would say that was just a bad call because someone in their team had to make a call, and it's usually Piotr when he plays, to go for that tank that he is not covered enough by the rest of the Knäckebröd. If that was the right call, that would be automatic win for them because they would win entire side. But we can see here amount of shells coming from the Knäckebröd, tanks falling, HP lost, modules damaged.
Yeah, we could see that Bratti in that bat shot surviving way too long in reality against 3 bat shots. That first track was really crucial, blocking the other 2 behind and then still surviving for a long time, giving his team the potential from the 1-2 line to do a lot of damage onto the tanks from out of range.
We must also commend him because his reaction was also spot on. He lured them around the rock, covered himself as much as he could. He just bought enough time for his team to do that crucial damage.
Yeah, we could see in the end, though, a little bit of nervousness in KB's play as Hellfish driving up and pretty much getting shot down from full HP, but at that point they had so much advantage that it didn't really have an effect on changing the round.
Victory was at hand, but still not won.
Still not won, though. So, what do we take away from Cliff Mojo? 1-1 between these 2 teams. Do we think they're evenly matched up?
I would say out of range is a bit slightly better because this was one wrong call. Tactically, I still think they are a bit above Knäckebröd, and they have faster reactions. So on the other maps, it should make a big difference.
Well, Mojo, on our second map, that reactions might be in favor of out of range, as it's more of a player skill and reaction wise map. Ghost Town, wouldn't you say?
Well, Ghost Town is quite an interesting map to say, to start with. It's the map you can play only on Pro League, and there is a lot of teams actually avoiding it big time. But these are none of those. And Clash here will be quite an interesting one.
Yeah, what do we expect to come out from both these teams? Looking at their previous matches last season, KB was an okay Ghost Town team, I'd say, but out of range, I'm not so sure about their Ghost Town.
Yeah, but they also have a lot of players now from Penta who Penta played it really well, and they might have actually taught them how to do something about it. Also, I really expect a lot of heavies on this map. It's not really hard to guess that with maybe some minor light.
Oh, I was expecting 6 bachas. I'm disappointed.
Hey, I've seen it once. It didn't work.
It didn't. It reminds me of the times people played with 40-54 lightweights going around the map. Oh, bad memories.
But anyways, here major tanks will be 113s and FV heavies, usually because of DPM and fast aggression response. But what will people use beside that? Maybe 50Bs?
Maybe 50Bs, but before we move on to Ghost Town, let's take a look at the last round and see exactly the damage KB managed to afflict onto those out-of-range tanks. And Pada in that bad shot, probably the tank on the 1-2 line, landing some shells on those pushing out-of-range guys. Most damage, but really the damage, if we look at it, very evenly spread between the players.
Well, Pada is from 0 to hero because 0 was exactly what he did in the last round. So he's doing pretty nice now. I would say pretty even damage because they were balled up together and doing the sniping shots mainly to out of range who did a mistake in that push, and after that it was just a cleansing operation. So there is nothing really special to watch on these stats. It was an error in judgment, and we cannot see anyone really stand out by skill there.
Yeah, we can see Santi in that bad shot. The first one to go over, gets struck, 0 damage. Unfortunate, but somebody has to lead the push. So unlucky for him there. And then Vale and Karol, not much to do in that round as Vale was the last one alive. So Deja
1k straight.
1k straight. So pretty evenly spread if we look at it. Nobody really in particular doing great for either team. But moving into Ghost Town though, it's going to be interesting to see. Fun thing to note though, a lot of people know the boost on the Eastern Mountain, right? To reset the cap. They fixed that, but there's still another way to get out. So I was pretty sure we're still going to be seeing teams driving up there.
I think we saw. I think we said we will not say things before they happen.
But
We are hiding things. Hush, hush.
this is not special. Everybody knows this on Ghost Town.
Everyone you think you knows.
Nobody told me this. I saw this.
There was a memo.
There was a memo. I didn't catch that memo. Oh well.
Oh well.
Oh, unlucky me. I'm still going to slightly favor out of range here, I think.
But it's not really hard to say that because I would say player by player they have a better lineup. It's just a matter of judgment at the moment. Are their calls on point? Is their team in a full lineup at the moment as they trained? We all knew that Piotr will be pretty away on the start maybe, so maybe that will affect them negatively.
Mojo, before looking at the screen, what lineup are we going to see from these teams? Before looking at the screen.
Before looking at the stream. Well, I already said I expect a lot of FVs and 113s, but maybe I'm going to be wrong.
Well, you are kind of wrong if we look at the KV lineup.
Oh dear, Mike. Oh dear.
We're just proven on stream, Mojo doesn't know anything.
I'm an old noob.
So that object 416, that's the only thing to really note in this round. That's teams are ready. Let's jump into Ghost Town. So coming into Ghost Town, we can see Tarantula. I'm 100% sure. No, I'm not. I'm actually not sure. I thought he was going to line up the boost, but maybe not. We can see out of range, moving towards that eastern side. That 416 used as capper, because obviously you can't see him when you're shooting at him, and the only real way to reset him is with artillery.
Well, 416 is decent because he can be used on both caps to do it. He has a low silhouette. He can fit behind any little hill there. And preferably he can even angle, and he has great gun with good DPM and armor penetration shooting that heat ammo.
Yeah, but KB Mojo going super aggressive here already. We can see Hellfish pushed up all the way already. And Xana Leon here trying to control Dechaya in that batch at 25 tons with his 50B. Why is KB going so aggressive here as Prati takes the first hit?
They definitely do not want to even allow them to start the cap. They want to do damage while they can before. I guess they used the speed of their tanks because their team is much more agile than those E100s, so they want to shoot them while they're approaching, because in close combat E100s can do really big pounding to them.
Yeah, these 50Bs here can't really take this peak as Dasha trades 1 for 3 shells in reality, so positive trade for him here as Karov also got a sneaky shot in there on Xana Leon as well. And this aggression from KB is going to prove to see how this works out, as they could be surrounded if out of range plays their cards right.
It's going to be really interesting to see what will Tarantula do now. Can he find a good angle behind them and start peckering them in the back? Because all these guys are kind of stuck in the same corner now, and they're pressing in the middle.
Ooh, Leech Bear getting flanked from 2 sides. Takes a lot of damage here. Some HE damage coming into Desek, but Leech Bear already getting focused down as out of range is making their push. Both 50Bs are coming around now, but Fale taking a lot of damage in that E100, but Piotr, Leech Bear is the first one to fall, and Hellfish is the next on the chopping board as KB got surrounded by out of range in reality, and those E100s, you can just see the damage they're soaking, as those 50Bs are going to be on reload any second here, and then Hellfish will go down as well.
This is a middle-aged bludgeoning here. Leech Bear really gave a big opening because he took 2 shots from E100, making them really susceptible to any kind of push. Out of range is in huge HP advantage now. He have only 2 guns down, but Knäckebröd is down to 3 tanks, of which one is only light tank.
Failware getting absolutely wrecked by Raging Potato in that E100, double fire, and then finished off by the 416. As Bada is the next one on the shopping board. Desek in that E3 coming from behind, and it's all but over for KB in this round, who tried to play aggressive, but out of range had all the answers to that kind of push.
This is a really interesting, I guess that heavy German platform of tanks paid off for out of range, definitely. And by the look of those tanks, they even have several options covered. If they need to push Piotr in a cap instead of 416, if they need E3 to cover them with huge DPM and armor. So definitely outplaying Knäckebröd in attack.
Karov takes down Tarantula, and that's it. Out of range taking the second round. The offensive side on Ghost Town, very particular push from KB, pretty much playing into the hands of out of range. If we look at it, you know, out of range, realizing those 2 guys were separated, pushed those 50Bs back with Decha and the Batchat so they couldn't pick the corner, and then pushed in from 2 sides and pretty much got the overmatch for free.
It was pretty much info from Decha, who gave them that 50Bs are reloading, that they are back, they cannot do anything at that moment, and the rest of the tanks pushed in and caught off the guys who were really stretched out. Small tactical errors, not so small when you watch them from this perspective.
Well, every mistake counts on this level, and you can just see out of range seeing one opening and instantly going for it. Why do we think KB went so aggressive on the defensive side? There was no real need for them. Is it the threat of the 416, you think, of him driving into the cap and not being able to reset?
My guess is they wanted to catch them off before they even come to the cap because of the number of the slow tanks, so they cut them off behind some corners so they can really not peek out, but the positioning was not in spot.
Yeah, you could just fail where you could see him get blown up there. 1,700 HP and damage in less than 3 seconds pretty much. That E100 gun, if it hits, picking E100 is in my opinion, E100 is very hit or miss, because sometimes you just don't land those shells because it's not the easiest tank to play and the gun is kind of unreliable, but you could see their HP and pure alpha brought the victory to out of range.
Yeah, but definitely E100 is such tank as you say, but this was really close combat battle. They had nothing to lose. It's reload of, let's say, 15-16 seconds with all the rations and cruise kills, while you have 6-7 seconds less on 113s, but 113s disappear in 3 shots.
Oh, you saw them disappear in 3 shots. Leech Bear instantly getting removed there. KB, they've shown a lot of aggression here. If we look at it on Cliff as well, their first round very aggressive, second round a little bit more defensive coming in, but here again on the defensive side, pushing straight forward, trying to catch out of range of guard and not really working out. Do you think this is their strategy for now, trying to catch out of range with strategies they might not expect?
Well, they're definitely showing they're not scared to fight in a brawl, so that's a good thing, but you also have to master those positions well. And you need to cover all your angles. When they were shooting off with the Batchat, they definitely neglected the fact that he will just tell the rest of his team that, okay, these tanks are now open. They have no Clipper defense anymore. You can push.
I'm wondering how those 50Bs in reality work, because Desha in that batch chat, let's take a look at stats and see exactly how much Desha managed to do as I continue my point about those 50Bs. No, can't really do much. And Piotr in that IS-7, 3.2k damage, respectable amount for an IS-7.
That's really brilliant damage, especially on such map where he has to go in the face of the people. Deha also, from that far away position, owned those 50Bs, I would say.
Pretty much own those 50Bs. Even the 416 coming in, pretty good performance for him as well. He was in the fight at all times. I even saw him get a sneaky shot onto Xana Leon in that 50B.
Yes, definitely. But he gave them like 3 shots in the start. It's almost 1200 right away, taking 1 shot, then second clip when they pushed. Really nice damage.
Yeah, that 416, you know, it's used for more than just capping. The gun on it is also it's a very good gun. It can reliably penetrate tier 10s. And Leech Bear in that 113, he was the first one to be focused, and only 468 damage.
Yeah, not much to see there.
That E3 doing okay amount of damage for his position. He probably could have done more, but that's all, you know, on the side. All that matters is that out of range managed to win the second round here. And Mojo, what do we expect from KB? Because after this aggressive round, do you think they're going to go full aggressive again on the offensive side, or we might see some slower play with artillery?
They definitely can play Arty, but I would say they should not, because they will be attacking now. So Arty, unless you are real gaming, does not really work that well.
Let's take a look at the lineups and see if we have RD. I hope I'm right, but doubt it. As we I just want to point out, I did not look at the lineups before the match. Mojo can confirm this, and I see an artillery piece.
Well, that's really risky from Knäckebröd here. For this to work out, they actually have to make out of range go in certain positions so they can shoot them.
But that lineup, though, double 113, 350Bs, and T10, that is only meant for pushing.
This is 4 tanks that are meant for close combat and 50Bs for flanking. The thing is, they cannot really just push them that easily, because Knäckebröd will be expecting that, and if they just fall for a trap, it will be a lost round for no reason. No, I think they should just first feel out where is Knäckebröd, and then use their mobility in their advantage.
Well, we'll see exactly what shenanigans Out of Range has planned for us as we go into our 4th round here on Ghost Town. It's Out of Range versus Knäckebröd.
Okay, guys.
It does seem like there is a small technical mistake. Sorry for that, but it sometimes happens, you know, team not ready in the last 15 seconds. So we'll give them some more time to get their lineups sorted. As we talk a little bit more about those 50Bs versus artillery, I'm wanting to see that one of those 50Bs exploding against that M40 shot.
I'm pretty interested to see why did they even pick a Ghost Town, because so far Knäckebröd actually had more than 80% win ratio in the last season, but out of range was on 20 plus. I guess I stand corrected because they learned something in the meantime.
It does seem like the game is ready now. Sorry for the slight technical interference as we're going into game between Out of Range and Knäckebröd. Out of Range going to be 2-1 up now on the defensive side on Ghost Town, with them actually having the M40.
So this is a defensive arty that actually makes sense now. That was a graphical error. We really apologize for that. But let's see. Budget is spotting offensively the number 1 cap, and most of the Knäckebröd is actually pushing there. So there might be a big clash there.
Yeah, multi-show here, taking the first shot, losing his commander already, and he does not have a medkit.
This is the biggest bummer you can have in any in any Clipper tank. First shot and immediately Amorek or a commander.
Yeah, but we can see KB here going very offensive. We've seen this before, trying to put 3 guys in the cap, so they have, even if the M40 resets 2 of them, it doesn't matter.
Oh my dear Jeebus.
We see that damage coming in from the M40, but if they get 3 guys on the cap, M40 will not be able to reset anymore. He doesn't have the reload. He needs somebody else to reset, and it looks like Desha is moving forward to secure those resets, but he's going to have to land them before Dezek reloads. But at the same time, those 50Bs, if Out of Range push anywhere, they'll be ready to clip them, but Oh, the reset coming in though. Small reset onto Failware. Hellfish taking some damage as well. 17 seconds on the cap here. It's going to be interesting to see how long Dezek has left on his reload, as Failware has already been resetted. They need to hit Pare or Tarantula in that T10, as Dezek, as we can see, is almost reloaded and his shell is about
They
to
know
come in.
Tarantula is holding. You can see they're trying to break all the buildings, and I think they're relying on Kerov to actually reset him now. There is a slight splash from the RT coming in, so they are keeping themselves in the game and giving themselves advantage so they can make some kind of reset. But there you go.
Yeah, reset coming on to Tarantula, but the cap still down. Now back to 30 seconds, so great resets coming in here for out of range. As we can see the damage, the health bars going more and more in their favor, but the push coming out from out of range, trying to take out Karov in as FE215B, but Hellfish taking a big amount of damage, has to back off now. It's all onto Tarantula and Failware, and they still didn't manage to kill Karov. Great advantage here from out of range. Karov going low, Desha picks up Hellfish in the same time, and Failware seems to be the next target. Still cap pressure, but so much damage in return from just Karov.
Well, definitely Knäckebröd saw that they are losing the game, because in the cap games like this, it's always a question, will the defending team manage to reset on time, or will the pressure pile up and you have to suicide to reset them? In this game, in this case, out of range, definitely practice one. The cap seemed close maybe to Unchained Eye, but in reality 10 seconds is like eternity.
Yeah, 10 seconds, a lot of time. You could see Dezek always had that cap under control. Kerov landing some HE shells as well, as you could see 97 damage here and there. Great resets coming in from out of range. The HP is kind of close here, 5k versus 3.6, but it's only 3 tanks for KB, and those are all 50Bs. And only Xanaleon has shells here. Oh, Dezek in that artillery piece lands the shell onto Lich Bear, and Xanaleon getting a lot of damage in return. And that RT shell made it sure that out of range will be picking up this round as Santi takes down Xanaleon, and it's just Brady left in his 50B, and Multishow is on the chase.
Dezek really played it out with Arti here. I'm really scared to see what will be with the rest of the season if Arti starts overwhelming people on the maps.
And that's it, out of range, picking up their third round now, bringing the score 3-1 in their favor. Sorry for the lineup being swapped around, so we'll try to make sure that doesn't happen in the future.
At least it wasn't Arti in attack.
At least it wasn't Artie in attack. I felt like I was right and I was being cheated on. But at least I said Artie, you know?
Well, at least you could gloat a bit until you were wrong.
Until I was wrong, exactly. But that KB tactic, I find it very questionable because we've seen this before. We've seen this in every single iteration. We've seen this with IS3s. We've seen this with WZs. We've seen this 3 guys on the cap. It doesn't really work anymore, I'd say, because a lot of teams know this is
KB is definitely playing on a risky side from the games we've seen. So they're taking high chances. This is I would say, highest yield / risk tactics on this map, and I've personally watched more than one match when defending team had an RT but simply missed one shot, and if RT misses one shot there, you actually win. Here we already watched the moments when cap pressure was off and the guys were just getting annihilated because HP loss due to that time was overwhelming.
We can't really... They went for that push onto Karov, with Desha being on the side, RT as well, and lots of out of range ranks being able to cover that. It felt like a final desperation attempt because they weren't sure what to do, because they can't really, once you commit to that cap, you can't really drive out of it anymore because you'll spot it all the way and you'll take so much damage going out of the cap that it's not even worth it anymore. So a very all-in tactic.
There was really nothing they could do anymore. After they got resetted several times, they saw the plan went down the water and they had only one choice but try to kill some tanks and maybe hope they will miss them. Maybe hope, but no. Out of range actually has really well covered positions. We saw even Dezek hitting in city with Arti, so he had angles for left and right. Both really well played by them.
Yeah, we saw the out of range reaction. Desha in that 1-1-3 instantly making sure that if needed, he could get the resets, driving up to that northern part in front of the cap. And out of range, predicting this, kinda, they went fully to that side and being ready for what KB did, I think. But let's take a look at the stats and see exactly how much Dezek managed to do in that artillery piece.
Oh, that first shot really split that T10 in half.
Oh, wow. RT coming out for out of range.
Arti strong carry.
Dezek entering with a strong performance this season. 3.2k damage, definitely telling KB, I'm here in RT and I'm ready to play. Go on the cap again, please.
Oh my god. Tier 8 Arti doing 3.2k. Top damage dealer on a small map like a ghost town. That's really even sacrilegious, I would say.
Yeah, we can see in the bottom part, not that much to talk about. Failware in that 1-1-3, there's not much you can do at that point in the game. You know, you're you have to go on the cap, and after that you have to make a desperation attempt in out of range, just shutting down every single option for KB. And I'm really wondering, this performance from out of range showed me that our next map is going to be very hard for KB, I think, to recover.
Definitely out of range, showing really good signs of map control and self-awareness. I like how their players move. I like how they don't panic. They don't do any kind of harsh movements in those defensive moments. There was a big judgment call we saw on Cliff as a mistake, but other than that, everything was on point.
Yeah, one mistake on Cliff, but in all the other battles, taking every good decision, it seems like they're very well prepared for the things that KB is coming up with so far, as it seemed to me that they had a very set reactions to what KB did.
Well, leadership is definitely on spot. Communication with team is on spot. They move in a good group, communicate with each other. I really have high expectations of them. I'm anxious to see how will actually function on Himmel, oldest map, and I would say of city maps, the most beautiful one.
Yeah, always awesome to watch Himmelsdorf. Let's take a look at the lineups and see exactly what Out of Range has planned for us. As we can see here, this is very interesting. This is something we haven't seen so far. So, last batch, the batch at tier 9 was added, and it's already being featured in our first match. Going to be interesting to see how this works out. Mojo, guide the viewers through a little bit of the strong points of this tier 9 tank.
Well, definitely this is a clipper, fast clipper, smaller silhouette than Lorraine had. Lorraine was big as a house. That's not really nice when you want to play it. So in a composition with these 50 Bs and 113s, this is a really strong and fast lineup that can go anywhere on a map and try to surprise one tank and catch him off guard. In this kind of play, it's usually a rail part. So I would really be careful if I was out of range to put too many tanks far away.
Again, such a very one-sided tactically lineup, I would say. Those 113s and 50 Bs, but it does seem like our game is ready. So let's jump into it. It's Himmelsdorf between these two.
Himmelsdorf, a small city map. The teams start the battle in opposite corners. Both bases are located close to each other, but in a way that you can't stay on the defensive all the time. The main attack routes pass through the hill, the alley and the railroad, but in general, the attack can be successfully executed through any part of the map. Heavy tanks and tank destroyers with powerful guns run the show here. However, a lot depends on the mobile light tanks.
So we have our match on the way here. As you can see, that lineup from KB, the 3113s, the 50Bs, and the Basha. It's going to be interesting to see what they decide with it. It could be a very heavy rails push.
It's definitely a rail push, but they left actually one heavy tank on the hill. That means they might actually just use it as a bait, hoping to catch one or two out-of-range tanks off guard. But they're not taking a bite because they saw the lineup and they really are taking their sweet time. They don't want to go down. They lined up for shooting and they put the light tank down to spot if someone is trying to cross, but everyone else is laid back.
Yeah, you can see here KB already crossing with those 2 tier 9 batches over the rail, but out of range ready for this, as they haven't sent anybody down there. So Xanaleon and Tarantula have to be careful here, as Santi and the IS-4 is in a really good position to deal with them if they push. And Brati already taking some damage here. And that IS-4 landing a nice shot onto Tarantula. Those Batcha tier 9s, not really anything they can do there. But what is the next move for KB now?
This is a really brilliant position for IS-4. It's an old school position that people may know from the previous seasons. You can angle there, and anyone coming from down really cannot penetrate you. IS-4 has probably the best tracks for angling there. So we saw the opening of Knäckebröd, but they are now moving back, I would say. That's why they left Lichbear, so he can shoot people who are trying to rotate from out of range.
Yeah, Hellfish in that 113 shooting HG actually at Santi, because that IS-4 really hard to penetrate from the angle he's on. Hellfish can't really get out of there, as if he tries to leave, some more HG damage coming into Santi as well. If he tries to leave, he will take a lot of damage. So tier 9 Batchat can get unspotted and run away, but those 113s are locked down here, as it seems. Do you think they were prepared for this? Because why would they bring so much HG otherwise?
Oh my god, I guess they had some kind of idea what could happen, but I don't know, 20 more shells and he might fall.
This actually might be genius from KB. It seems like they predicted totally what Out of Range was going to do and brought a ton of HE shells. It's just a matter to see how many they brought, because they're chipping away Santi's HP slowly but surely with that HE. And this is something that I didn't expect.
Annoying.
this is amazing. This is absolutely brilliant to watch. KB surprising me with that HE damage onto Santi.
Wow, this is HE fast.
Already lost
sides.
1,000. KB actually completely predicted this out-of-range thing. Otherwise, they would not take this many HE shells. And Santi, there's nothing he can do. He can't run away from here, and he's just getting shot down by HE. You can see 1,500 damage, pure HE damage, HE only. And at this point, if they bring like 4 or 5 more HE shells, he's actually going to go down
My
with
God,
HE.
I believe that chair below Kent is probably burning now. He's so annoyed that super annoyed. Even doesn't begin with.
This is brilliant, brilliant from KB. Absolutely brilliant the way they thought about this. I hope this is planned because it's otherwise they're loading too much HE. As Pade takes down Santi in that IS4, pure HE damage. Do trade some damage in return, but Santi, that must have been the most annoying way to die ever. Getting shot down by HE, slowly but surely, nowhere he can go, nowhere he can run. That HE damage coming in.
Like being clubbed to death.
I'm honestly, I'm very surprised by KB by that. It's a very risky move to take so many HE shells. It's always risky because if the game drags long, there's always the potential you run out of ammo. And
But let's see what goes on now, because okay, they lost one tank, but the game is still on, and out of range is still defending. 2k, it's not even 2k advantage, it's 1.5. That can really bounce back off easily in the
gun in the
out of
game,
range.
though. Gun in the game.
Gun is a really big difference. That's
And
definitely true.
They actually managed to rotate out without taking a single more damage. So KB being favored in this one, I'm still amazed by that. I'm absolutely amazed. And they have that double bat shot. That could provide a lot of cap pressure. For example, one on the A line and one on the other corner in the 7 line could provide a lot of cap pressure. And they have that one tank advantage they can do something with.
It's a really dirty plan, I will say. I don't think I see something
It was
like this in a while.
it was a really high explosive plan.
Oh wow.
Oh, that was horrible, but we made it work anyways. But now,
Definitely, I would say they have to shift their focus now and go on 2-cap and play from there. I seriously doubt that out of range has enough HHL to do back to that to them. Failware is actually staying in a city to monitor the situation back, and everyone else in the team is rotating on that side. I would say their only option is to cap from the B line, from the northern 2-cap, and then play the rotation with their faster tanks when the counter-attack of out of range comes.
I can't fully agree with out-of-range positioning. With one tank down, I kind of would like them to be a little bit more proactive, because if they let KB take all the corners, all the angles, it's very likely for them to not be able to win this, just because KB has that one more player who can do a lot of damage. And we can see them here, they're leaving Failware in that 1-1-3 to monitor the G to D line, so he can see anything that comes through that. And the rest of their team, with those 2 bat shots, it's so much cap pressure. If they're on 2 lines, Sanaleon decide to drive on that capture circle, they can get out at any time, as they're doing now, and KB is in a fantastic position to close this round.
I would say by the map that out of range is quite confused now. They even sent Raging Potato back because they're actually expecting a strike in their back because of so many fast tanks of Knäckebröd. This is some serious mind playing coming from Knäckebröd.
I'm still surprised by that HG on the IS4. I'm hoping KB managed to close out this round, because it would be amazing for the first round, for the first match of the season, to have such a highlight already, pretty much. And Dezek does look like he wants to go hold down behind that wreck of Kairov. Kairov's sacrificing himself, so Dezek has a hold down. Very hard to penetrate the E3 once he gets in this position. But
Kairov literally chose the spot where he will die, but that's still one more tank down. Okay, HE back.
HE back.
HE wars.
HE always does damage, Mojo.
Oh, definitely.
We forgot that HE always does damage. And it does look KB is giving up that capture circle for now, as those bat shots, tier 9 bat shots, are able to be resetted by HE. A4 you can reset with HE, and the E3 having a really good position, but still, 1 cap completely open. And Vala is monitoring the 5 line, but it does look like Hellfish wants to move forward here. Have to be careful they don't get caught in the crossfire, but only Vala there for now. And they have to still be careful though. If they come from both sides, they could catch Dezek off guard, but still.
I like the fact that Knäckebröd is actually not hurrying to their deaths. They are approaching from all sides, taking their sweet time, because they have 2 guns more. Pad is in a bit of a problem here, I would say. Oh, a lot of damage coming now from the crossfire from out of range. HP suddenly evened.
Yeah, the HP suddenly evened here, but KB still have those guns and those 2 tier 9 bat shots. That's Vala dropping really low, and Dezek also down to half HP, but Hellfish gets struck there as well, and Failware should be able to take down Vala here, but a low roll coming out, so somebody else is going to have to pick that corner to take down Vala. And KB, the plan actually falling to pieces here, as they're taking more and more damage. Brati dropping really low as well, and the HP is all of a sudden completely in out of range's favor again.
It's really, I respect how much they're covering each other because we can see their HP falling down equally, but they still have the gun advantage. That's the main issue for out of range.
Yeah, Dash right here with 4 shells though. Doesn't land the first, lands the second, has too much more left in that clip. Wants to take down Hellfish here, does take down Hellfish and will land the last one on Fail, whereas Raging Potato coming in to close down Failware here, as he should be able to. Dash taking some more damage in return, but Raging Potato taking down Failware and actually out of range coming back into this round. Dasha takes a lot of damage, goes down to Sana Leon, and it's a 3v2 here against the Tier 9's Batchat. Raging Potato doesn't manage to land the shot, but Sana Leon's on reload.
This is as close as it gets, but Vale on 8 HP, I would say he's the winner of this game, because him surviving is actually a crucial part for out of range, since New Multishow was on reload for a while now.
Yeah, those 2 Tier 9 Batchats, they could do something here though. I mean, Multishow is a 2-shot, Vale has a 1-shot, and Raging Potato is a 3-shot. Taking into account that Sana Leon with a possible low roll is a 3-shot. You know, if anybody low rolls, he will be a 3-shot. But Vale, so lucky, 359 HP, shot from the 113, surviving that. Blessed by RNG.
Vale is alone in that mid street actually. If Tarantula manages to hit him with the first shot, they actually have a chance to win. Otherwise, Raging and Multi can prove to be really tough nut to crack. Really surprising game, exciting game.
Ooh, he does have some hold down here, so Vale. It will be reloaded by the time Tarantula gets here. Tarantula needs to take this line shot. Oh, and he doesn't. As Vale takes him down. And Sana Leon alone versus Raging Potato and Multishow here. And he can't kill either of them in one shot. Lands a shell on Multishow, but it's still only 3 shells. And he needs to land all 3 of those as he only has 2 levels. And Multishow peeks out and takes down Sana Leon. What a man. I don't know how to start describing this. They take such a nice advantage and then somehow they managed to lose that decision to go down the 5 line. They had
I
lots
would
of
say
time.
even that low roll, that 440 Alpha 113 hit an E5 for 359. I think that actually won them a match because Vale survived on 8 HP, kept doing damage and kept soaking up damage.
I still feel though, if we look at it, they could have, with only Vale monitoring that 5 line, and at that point they still had 4.5 minutes, right? I feel
No, even less.
even less, but still, they have enough time. They have those Tier 9 Batchats. Why don't they rotate to Cap 1? There was nobody there from out of range. They should realize that as well. And then they would have had the chance to, you know, take a cap there. As we look at some of the highlights here, Santi comes down to HG.
Poor Santi.
That has to be in our highlight clip. That is of poor Santi. But here the push coming out, Desha realizing full HP, and then Sana Leon alone in Tier 9 Batchat. I feel like KB should always have been able to close down this round, but we could
I don't think those Batchats actually had a chance to go back in that cap because we saw in one moment they sent FV Heavy down behind the rail, so they were kind of expecting some kind of movement of that. They were prepared for that, but more proactive action was actually what they did here. Push from all sides, use the higher number of guns, more clippers and everything, but they just didn't shoot that well.
That player skill from out of range coming in. They peeked out for the E3 on the 5 line, then decided to switch on to Vale, low-rolled him, didn't manage to kill him. Desha came in full clip, pretty much killed everybody there together with Raging, and then just 2 to 9 bad shots against the rest of out of range.
I don't think that current result that is 4-1 to...
It's definitely been a lot closer than 4-1.
Yes, it doesn't give credit to Knäckebröd, definitely, because I would say they deserve more games. But what you want and what you got is not the same.
That HG, I absolutely mind blown. I've actually
never
never seen a tank like an Iris 4, a tank with 2.5k HP die to HG, constantly getting pestered. And I think out of range was pretty baffled at that point as well, especially Santi, because knowing that they were shooting HG, I think he should have tried to run. I feel like he should have taken the opportunity.
He had nowhere to run to because the other guys were waiting for him from the other side. Also, he was perma-checked. That's so annoying. I believe he was bursting in his room. If it was you would have no computer anymore.
I wouldn't have a table. There, let's take a look at the stats on Desha. In that AMX 50B, very crucial place from him. 3,600 damage. Everything he did in that round was pretty much perfect.
Yeah, Deha and New Multi were playing 50Bs, high damage from them, also Dezek in his E3, but we must remember that for Dezek to do this damage, there was a sacrifice to the gods.
Yeah.
113 has to be sacrificed. Yeah. So from the other guys, Hellfish, 14 shots.
Hellfish, that
How much
HE.
was that? Was FHE like 15 of those? Oh, sorry, he fired only 14.
That still that HE damage though. I'm gonna rewatch that tonight. Actually, that was really enjoyable to watch. I'm so glad we got to see that on the first round as well. Karov, zero
Poor
damage,
Karov.
but
You could see he even slowed down, so he would die on the right spot.
that is the strength of out of range there though. I want to say, losing Santi in such a spectacular fashion, something they obviously weren't prepared for at all. You could see they had no reaction to what KB was doing, and then for them to realize, let's put Karov as a hold down for Dezek, and actually being able to take back the round, and just prove that they're a really good team.
Pretty good lining up from them. Also, in the last seconds when they were fighting two budgets, you could notice that E5, although he was on only 8 HP, took a hold down position, not panicking behind tanks, while the other guys were covering each other, ready to sacrifice him. Also, when they saw the one budget is pushing him, they immediately pushed the other side. They didn't care would he survive or not, because when they killed one side, they would easily turn and finish off the other.
Hellfish told me in the interview that they had some crazy things lined up, and if this is one of those, I'm excited what they're going to bring. Yeah, the scoreline is 4-1 in favor of out of range though, but it's been a lot closer than this. I'm really hoping KB can take 1 or 2 rounds here and come back, because they've been playing actually pretty well.
Think out of range will do a Kazna throw?
Ooh, a Kazna throw. Ooh, let's not go there yet. Let's take a look at the lineups here for our 6th round. And again, KB, it doesn't look like they're about to stop. I don't know what's up with them, but they seem to be going out of range, can go aggressive. Well, so can we.
Well, they really want to go face on 4 1-1-3s and that kind of lineup in a defense. They might even attack the field.
They might do one of those courtyard control pushes.
Yeah, definitely.
You know
they might attack the middle courtyard, then try to cut them off from the rail side also and press into them before they even get any kind of positions. FV heavies though, they're pretty tough not to break. A huge DPM, accurate gun can keep them tracked. 113 is not really known for best angling options or...
the turret is not the i7.
And let's not even stop mentioning the Amorek that falls off now and then.
Does seem like our team's already. It's 4-1 in favor of out of range. Can they close this match? We'll find out in our 6th round. Let's go into the match. As we can see here, that very, very offensive lineup coming out from KB. What we meant with courtyard control is where a team pushes the 8 line, the 3 line, and the 5 line simultaneously and pretty much locks down the enemy team within the courtyard, but out of range, every single body going up the hill. They realized this as well, but then again, KB playing the mind games and sending everybody pretty much to the D-line.
I guess they have a kind of A, B, and B plan. We've seen a lot of teams that do some A thing and they have no backup plan. Well, the spotter in a light tank and a medium told them that there is no tanks coming in from out of range, so they all pushed around here. Getting these positions, this is quite decent because they can defend themselves and shoot, but I really doubt out of range will just YOLO down and just play it carelessly.
Hellfish here does well see Karol, but Karol spotting him in return, and now out of range, getting some information here. Hellfish being spotted on the 0 line. They know somebody in a 1-1-3 cannot be there alone, but Hellfish has to be careful here. If that entire out of range team decides to come over at the same time, Karol now trying to spot A0. What he's doing is trying to see if there's anybody in A0 covering, and then we might see a full commitment from A out of range with all 6 tanks, 7 tanks actually pushing over at the same time.
Out of range is actually backing off because they suspect there is plenty of tanks on A9 behind Hellfish. They cannot really know what is their position since they're all stuck on one really small area of the map. So map control goes definitely to Knäckebröd. And yeah, out of range definitely just goes away because they think they are
Oh
in front
man,
of a trap.
I really wanted to see those 7 tanks peek over and just one-shot Hellfish. That would have been so great to watch, but out of range, going for the more tactical approach, backing off, but still, KB has most of the angles covered. We see Zana Leon in that bad shot, spotting the K-line crossing. You can always see that from there. Karol and Raging Potato in at E5, staying on the hill, trying to control Hellfish, but what is the next move from out of range? Because wherever they go, KB will have a pretty good read on them, and they have a very, very quick rotational lineup.
I guess they will try to hold off, to lock off this part of the map, controlling the 8 line before choosing. Did they see any kind of rotation force from Knäckebröd? Do they need to watch the church area? Do they need to just close on here? The thing they need at the moment is information. So they won't do some blind push like on Cliff and just fall for no need. I would say, yeah, there we go. I7 is going to the 8 line. That's pretty normal position for him. You will see him now behind sandbags because his turret is among the hardest in the game.
You see this position here for Call Me Piotr. He is completely hold down. This works everywhere. This even works in randoms. If you go here, you're completely hold down in an IS-7. Sometimes your turret can be penetrated. This is completely unpenetratable. There's the top of the turret you can penetrate, but that is a shot that you will barely hit 1 out of 20 times.
That's quite a gambling shot, unless they start spamming him with HE shells. No,
Oh no! They have 4-1-1-3s. How long would it take them to kill him with HE? Just rushing him with HE.
Yeah, the fact is they cannot really track him there, so he can actually pull away, so that will not be an option.
If they rushed him now with 4-1-1-3s with HEs, that would almost feel like a random battle.
Oh, really, really random battle. But we have entire team of out of range, out of spot on the hill. Now at the moment, Knäckebröd actually does not know what are their positions. So I guess they're now debating, should we just go down on Hellfish and whoop him or not?
KB needs to stay here though and realize that this is they're in the perfect position to shut down this entire push from out of range as soon as it comes. It's really going to depend if Hellfish can get out quickly enough, if he reverses quickly enough, because if he gets tracked once, he is done for, completely done for. One track will make it so even if he uses repair kit instantly, he'll be too slow to back off from that hill, and then out of range will get a free kill. As it does look like they're now about to commit down as they're coming over the hill, and Desek takes the first shell. Hellfish takes some in return, but 113 should be able to back off the hill as he's trying to slide off now, and we can see Leechbeard, the rotation coming out. It's going to be a head-on engagement here, and let's see how out of range manages to do. As Hellfish, he is pretty hold down, and doesn't look like out of range decides to commit though. So now Karolf crossing, but what is out of range's next move?
Well, they took these higher positions, and now they're actually playing hold down because everything else would be suicidal. They really quickly sent light tank to A0 so he can check out the other line for them so they don't fall. But the rotation is coming in from the Knäckebröd, medium tank and light tank Tarantula. They're going for Piotr. They know he's alone and he is in a big problem now.
Two clippers going for Piotr at this point, and out of range will have to make a move after that as all their tanks are currently down the 0 line, and as soon as Piotr will get flanked by that Batchat and 3090, they will know that they have to make a move as Karolf probably trying to be annoying in A8 there as Piotr takes a little bit of damage and not sure exactly. Ooh, there comes the push from out of range though. Desek coming over the hill here. Hellfish is definitely the first target of focus here as he takes a lot of damage, bounces some in return as well, and out of range actually taking a better trade here as Hellfish goes down. Brati and Failware taking a lot of damage in return at the same time, and it doesn't look like KB was ready to trade at all for Hellfish. Piotr will go down in return though, but the HP so far in favor of out of range, and it does look like they will just continue pushing.
Piotr will definitely fall, but everyone expected that.
Oh,
he's
team kill
still
from
alive.
Xanaleon on Tarantula. Xanaleon actually take down Tarantula as well. And Failware being the next. Everything's falling apart here for KB as the entire team of out of range is collapsing on this position here. Leechbear going low, Failware going low, and it looks like out of range is coming to close out this match as these 3-1-1-3s are completely outmatched and there is nothing KB can do about it.
It looked so good for Knäckebröd at one moment, but then just focused fire from out of range. Even the calls were better. Piotr alone surviving for so long against two guys, and even they had so bad communication that one killed another.
Xanaleon, new player, taking out his teammate. Not that it made a lot of difference. He is the last guy here as he has elite HP left, but it's not going to help him much in this situation here as he knows in that batch that there's nothing he can do. Out of range, seeing the opening, taking the opening, closing the opening, and they will be picking up their 5th round. They will be winning this match. Out of range, the player skill, not bouncing their shells. Xanaleon, nothing he can do here. Can just run for a little bit, but out of range, taking up their first victory.
You would say in a lot of games tactics should be the one winning the battles, but actually in reality it's not like that. Mainly it's communication between the players and their reaction on spot on the map. Tactic-wise, you could see in the last game, Knäckebröd was actually up ahead of out of range. They managed to outwit them, outplay them, and they still lost the round.
As it is, Karolf takes down Xanaleon, and that will be out of range, picking up their first victory of the season against KB 5-1. What an impressive